Today we're enabling our 2016 GMC Sierra 2500 to do a little bit more with the UWS Toolbox. This is going to be a pretty cost-effective way to just get a lot of those tools locked and loaded in the bed of your truck so they're not taking up a whole lot of cab space. This is the gloss black option, but there is a matte black option along with an aluminum option. So if you want to kind of pick which color looks best for your truck, you do have that option with us. Our latches right here are going to be on both sides, and you can access them from the side of the truck. The nice thing about the gas struts is that it's going to open up on its own, so that's always nice. And we can close it from one side. We don't really have to slam it. You just kind of put a little bit of pressure on there and it latches both sides. But one thing about this box is we're only going to have a locking core on one side. We do have two keys, but it's on the driver's side, which kind of works out. You know, you put all your stuff in, you're going to end up in the driver's seat most likely. So you can go ahead and lock this up just like that. And we're not going to be able to get in there. So that's always nice that it has a lock on it, just because a lot of the times we have thousands of dollars worth of tools in this thing. So locks are a must for me. When we open up our lid, it does it on its own. So all we got to do, it does the first little movement pretty quick, but then it slows down a little bit. But what I like about it is we do have a 90-degree angle right here. So if you do have some of the bigger, bulkier stuff, you're not going to have to kind of wedge it out. You can just grab it, pull it up, and then bring it to the job site. I do like that because some of them will kind of sit like this, and it kind of limits you of what you can really put in your box. We have plenty of room from the top of our lid to the back right here, so that's not going to be an issue at all. The powder coat goes all the way through, and this whole entire thing's made of aluminum, so even if it didn't have a powder coated finish, it's not going to really rust away, and the moisture's not really going to build up in here either, which is nice. We have good welds all the way around, and we have plenty of room for a lot of our stuff. On each side, we're going to have room for some screwdrivers, about 7 holes on each side. And this compared to some of the other ones have the gas strut right here to where you can't really put these big screwdrivers all the way closest to your bulkhead just because the gas strut hits it. So this gives a dedicated spot for your gas strut, but we can still fit some stuff in here. We do have a beveled lid, and what that kind of means is when we go and put this down, the lid's going to go over top, and it does have a nice foam seal on the inside right here. So it's going to be able to breathe a little bit, but the moisture is not going to be able to work its way in there. It's also dust proof, so all your stuff's not going to get all dusty. I live on a long gravel road and everything gets super dusty really easily. So this is going to protect all the internals. And the only thing that's not aluminum on this thing is all the latches. So right here it's all stainless steel. So that's not going to rust away even though it's not coated with anything. This is a crossover saddle style box. So what that means is we're going to have a little bit of room underneath and it's going to sit on top of our rails. So this is the 69-inch long box, which is from here to here. And then when we come over to the sides here, it's going to add about 4 1/8 of an inch from the top of the rails of our truck. The overall depth of it from the very top to the bottom is about 13.5 inches, and just this section from the top of your rails down to the bottom is about 9 3/8 of an inch. We do have a black armor mat in here, which is a 1/2 inch thick, so we're going to have a 1/2 inch more than 11 1/4. So 11 3/4 inches from the bottom of the bare bed to the bottom of our box. So if you're one that has some wood you like to carry and you want to utilize your whole entire bed, especially if you do have a shorter truck bed, you will still be able to do that. And we actually still have some room on this side over here, which is nice. So you can still fit some 2x4s and stuff in here. We're not really giving up a whole lot of room on our bed. When we have the box all the way up to our bulkhead, it's gonna be about 19 1/4 inches from the bulkhead to the very edge of the bottom section. And in that same spot, the whole entire top is gonna be about 19 1/4 inches. From the inside top of our lid to the bottom, we're gonna have a little shy of 14 inches, kind of like 13 3/4 inches. So you probably won't be able to get some of those 5-gallon buckets in here, but we are going to be able to fit a large amount of tools. Pretty much what we have here right now is just a bunch of fittings, which is in a nice little case. I think that's the best way to kind of load up your box. Have cases dedicated to certain types of things. We have a little Dremel here, but then for some of those smaller type tools, we do have a sliding tray. So that's kind of nice. It comes with it, which is cool. And then of course we just have those spots for our screwdrivers. There's a lot of stuff we can do with this, regardless of what kind of jobs you're doing. If you're a carpenter, if you're just on the job site, whatever it is, we're gonna be able to load a lot of things up in this box. I really don't have any complaints about this box. It locks, that's good. It looks good, that's good. Everything works pretty well. And the main thing with me is just making sure that lid's gonna be solid enough for whatever may happen. If you just want to sit around at the end of the day and just kind of talk with your buddies, or if for some reason you need to get on top of it, this thing's super, super solid. I don't see the lid starting to indent in. That is one thing that I have seen with some other toolboxes. Of course, some people like to stand on them, but this one, I do not think that it's going to cave in over time. I think toolboxes really do add a nice look to your vehicle, and it just enables it to do a little bit more. I like how we have a bunch of different color options and stuff like that. And comparing this to some of the other ones like Weather Guard, I do think UWS does bring a lot of cool features to the table, and it gets the job done. That's pretty much it for a look at the UWS Truck Bed Toolbox on our 2016 GMC Sierra 2500.